Yes, ma'am.
So
We will
start now.
start, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we will start, ma'am.
So we'll start. Okay, fine. Sir. Yeah, fine. Okay. So very happy morning to everyone, and today we are again for this today online workshop on electric vehicle battery management system. So in association with IET. Okay.
Madam, voice breaking, ma'am. Madam.
Sorry for the interruption. I was stuck with the network connectivity. So today I would like to introduce our resource person, Dr. Gurappa Pattabotulu. He is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering in B.V. Raju Institute of Technology, Narsapur from 2021. He has completed his PhD from National Institute of Technology, Warangal in 2019. His current interest includes electric vehicle charging, DC microgrid, etc. Now, today he is going to deliver on importance of BMS in electric vehicle. Now, I request our resource person, Dr. Gurappa, to continue the session. So please, sir, can you continue it? Hello. So it's audible?
Sir, I make you as a host. Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now audible, sir. Now audible.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your welcome. Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
My voice
Thank
is
you,
clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear.
My voice is clear, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible. And...
Yeah. Actually, some disturbance is there from your side due to network issues, I think.
Sir, we make you as a host. You can continue, sir.
Yeah.
Sharing screen.
I'm sharing my screen. Due to network issues, it is somewhat late.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yeah. Good morning to all. Today I am here to discuss about the importance of battery management system in electric vehicles. We all know about these new electric vehicles in India and around the world. There is a lot of new advancements is going on in the electrical vehicle sector. Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Tell me, sir. Tell me, sir.
Yeah. Please respond at some time. Why? Because I don't know either you are audible or not. My voice is clear or
Yes,
not.
sir. Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
Yeah.
If anything,
Okay.
we will notify you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you very much. Right.
Yeah. We will
Right.
notify.
We all are know right about the electrical vehicles. There is a lot of research is going on still in research in electrical vehicle sector, especially in battery management systems and new battery technologies. The main reason the people why were going for electric vehicle is the one thing is air pollution. We need to protect our system and we need to protect our environment. And here at this time, there is a other question for on this thing. Why? Because even though it is somewhat expensive as compared to the internal combustion engine vehicles, now many industries and many governments, especially in our Indian government, is trying to move towards the electric vehicles, right? But at this time, there is a big question here it is. Why? Because we are thinking that it is a fact also, the electrical vehicles are more efficient as compared to the internal combustion vehicles. If you use the electric power, which is generated from the renewable energy sources. I hope you understand this thing. The electric vehicles are more efficient if you use the power, electric power, which is generated by the renewable energy sources. In other side, if you use the electric power for your electric vehicles, which is generated by the fossil fuels, like for example, thermal power plant. Again, there is a question. Again, there is a question that means by using these electric vehicles, is it really you are going to trying to protect the environment or trying to reduce the air pollution? Why? Because see, if you burn 1 kg of coal, nearly it gives a lot of CO2 in atmosphere. Similarly, if you burn 1 liter of petrol or diesel, it gives the lot of CO2 to the atmosphere. Okay. Now there is a comparison here. It is that comparison is the electric vehicles which are using the electric power, which is really generated from the renewable energy source. That is the first priority. The second thing, what really we are doing in our India is the electric power which is generated by the fossil fuels we are using to run the electric vehicles. Then think about the system efficiency. Why? Because see, suppose for example, we all know that the thermal power plant efficiency is nearly 29 to 30%. That is the efficiency of the thermal power plant. Then again, you need to consider the transmission efficiency, distribution efficiency, and come to your home. Okay. Finally, that is the efficiency. It is nearer to the 13%. Now, that 13% of energy you are going to use to run your electric vehicles. Then how much efficient you can think about it? Right? Here, the first thing here it is, I am going to convey you here it is, the electric vehicles are more efficient and it is more environment friendly only if you use the electric energy which is generated by the renewable energy sources. Okay, this is the point initially I want to convey to you. Coming to this thing here, it is some basic introduction to electric vehicles. Suppose, for example, for any electric vehicle, right? We need to follow some standard procedure. Initially, we need to think about what application, that means for which purpose it is and how much size it is required. Suppose, for example, let us take your college bus. How many students are there and how much distance it has to travel. And also, what about the road surface? Whether it is the hilly area or normal road surface, right? You need to first plan about the application and purpose and size. Once it is over, then based upon your requirement, number of students and how much distance it has to travel and what speed it has to travel, and what about the road surface, whether it is up and downs or plain, like that. By considering these all factors, you just calculate the tractive force. We are all know about this tractive force. I hope this tractive force is actually we need to give to the electric vehicle to overcome this tractive force such that we can move forward. Tractive force means the resistance offered by the aerodynamic force, this rolling resistance force, and this road resistance force, like this. We need to overcome this all forces such that the vehicle have to move forward. After calculating this tractive force, we need to calculate the power requirement. From this tractive force, once the tractive force is calculated, then you have to think about how much speed you have to travel. I need to travel 50 kilometers per hour. In your case, 75 kilometers per hour. Then the power requirement is different. Once the tractive force is calculated based upon the previous factors, then we need to go for the power requirement. This power requirement is tractive force into velocity. How much speed you have to go. Once the power requirement is calculated, then we need to worry about the motor and battery. I required less power. Suppose, for example, this electric bicycles and electric two-wheeler e-rickshaws. If your power requirement is less than 3.5 meters, then your PMDC, permanent magnet DC motor, is optimal one. If the motor size or the power requirement is more than 3.5 kilowatts, then it is better to go for the induction motor, three-phase induction motor. Right, like that, you need to select the motor for based upon your application. Once the motor is selected, now motor is selected, everything is good. Now, from this point, there is a big research still is going on. Once the motor is selected, then we need to worry about this battery and the power electronics to control the motor. Simple thing here it is, I want to convey this in more practical way. The selection of motor is okay. Once the motor is selected, then we need to think about the battery, and we need to think about how to control this motor. That is the power electronics. See, in olden days, your ceiling fan is controlled by the just a rheostat switch like. Now it is a very optimized control is there. There is no power loss, and also within a small time it reaches the maximum speed. Okay, lot of advanced controls are there. Here it is like this. In motor side also there is a more advancements has happened to control the speed of the motor. Then coming to the battery, in battery also there is a rigorous research is going on, but still we need to improve the some parameters in battery. Why? Because in internal combustion engines there are nearly 20,000 parts are there. In internal combustion engines, nearly 20,000 parts are there. All are mechanically connected, mechanically coupled. Then the efficiency is very low. Then that is replaced with our electric motor, which is more efficient, and this battery. But coming to this battery, what is happening here it is the specific energy density. The specific energy density is very low. That means with at present, the drawback of some electric vehicles is the range anxiety. That means we cannot go for the long drive. At present, this Tesla Model S, they can travel maximum 450 kilometers. And also the charging facilities to charge our battery. Okay, we will discuss in detail later. This battery management system. Now see here it is. This complete steps in electric vehicle design. If the total cost of electric vehicle is 100%, among this 100%, 40 to 60% is the battery cost. Among this 100%, the battery cost is 40 to 60%. This is the heart of the electric vehicle. Then definitely we need to protect our battery. Otherwise, it is inefficient and also some dangerous to the passenger also. That's why to protect this battery, we are going to discuss about the battery management system. Before discussing this battery management system, I want to convey some small introduction to the battery pack. See, this is the actually material which is used to like lithium, which is used in lithium-ion batteries, and it is this material is formed as a small battery cell. This batteries are formed as a battery module. Again, this group of battery modules is like this. This is the battery pack. This is the material. From that material, we are making a small cell. Why? Because suppose if you take this lithium-ion battery, why I am frequently talking about the lithium-ion battery means nowadays in all electric vehicles and your mobile phones and your laptops, tablets, everywhere the lithium-ion battery is more popularly used because of its energy density. Okay, I will tell you what is meant by energy density. Okay, but this battery cell, one single cell is giving the only 3.6 volts. This voltage is not enough to drive electric vehicles or to operate your mobile phone or to operate your computer. Okay, then it is formed as a battery module such that to produce a proper voltage and required current. And this battery modules are packed into the battery pack. See here it is. This arrow gives the size of from small material to the battery pack. That means it is 0.01 mm. Okay. See, battery pack is this much size. Then coming to our electric vehicle applications, see here it is. This is the battery pack we are going to place here it is. Same thing in previously we discussed like this. This is the cell for cell cooling and protection, cooling fan and cell foam for the protection. Like this they are connected and they are formed as a module, and this all modules are formed as a battery pack. Now battery pack is ready. Okay, then just these cells, there are different types of the cells are there. Cylindrical cell, prismatic cell and polymer cell. Coming to this cylindrical cell, here there are different features we are comparing for these three cells: energy density, standard size and cost, weight and volumetric efficiency, all these things. Okay, see here it is. In cylindrical cells are having long life and also it is high safety standards and it is more economical as compared to the prismatic and polymer. But compared to the prismatic and polymer, it requires a lot of space That means if you see here, it is the volumetric efficiency is average here it is. The cylindrical efficiency has good energy density and standardized sizes. Standardized size means here we are with this size, we can provide the better cooling. If we provide the better cooling there such that the lifetime of the battery can be improved. But coming to the disadvantage here it is, the volumetric efficiency is low. That means it takes a lot of space. It requires a lot of space. And also the weight is very, it is more weight. That's why the cylindrical cells are not used in your mobile phones and laptop batteries. Generally, these cylindrical cells are used in the electric vehicles only. Coming to the prismatic, this prismatic, the energy density is only better, not good. See, if you see here it is, the cylindrical cell having very good, that means best in energy density. This prismatic is not good. Okay, see like this, the cylindrical cells are more suitable for the electric vehicle applications, and prismatic is more suitable for the mobile phone and tablets. Okay, this is just the comparison about the different cells. Then coming to this thing, just now I told you, I am frequently using the word of lithium-ion battery. Why? Because of its energy density only. See, this is the previously we are using this all lead acid batteries, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydroxide, this all type of batteries. Now at present we are using lithium ion batteries. The reason is the energy density. Right now I am conveying this word. The energy density means, see, for 1 unit of mass, that means for 1 kg of battery, how much energy you are saving. Energy density means for 1 kg of battery, how much energy you are saving. That means how many watt hours you are going to save. Why? Because here the weight is very important factor in our electric vehicle. Why? Because if the weight of the vehicle is more, then tractive force, you require a lot of tractive force to drive the electric vehicle. That's why to reduce the weight of the battery, we are going for the high energy density. Okay, at present the lithium ion battery is having high energy density. It is 250 watt hour per kg. The remaining battery technology having less energy density, and this coming to this lithium sulfur and lithium AI, there is still research is going on. They are not in practical. Just they are predicting this much energy density they are giving like this, but they are still this thing are in research and development only. Yeah, before going to this thing here, it is we need to understand this, what is capacity and what is internal resistance. Okay, I will skip this thing. I hope you all know this thing. Capacity is ampere hours rating. Ampere hour rating is always depends upon the C rate. That means, see, ampere hour means how much time we are going to discharge the current, or how much. See, here it is. Ampere hour is available when the battery is discharged at a certain discharge current rate. Suppose, for example, 10 ampere hour battery is there. If C rate is 1, it takes 1 hour to discharge the 10 ampere current. Like that, you need to analyze this thing. This internal resistance also very important parameter. Why? Because this internal resistance is always varying with respect to the charging and discharging time, and also it is depends upon the state of charge of battery. If the internal resistance is more, the lifetime of the battery is reduces because of the thermal stability. Then the other important factor is SOC, that is state of charge. That means how much percentage of battery capacity you are having as compared to the maximum capacity. Suppose, for example, see here it is in our laptop, it is always showing some notifications when your battery is empty. Like, see here it is at present in my laptop, it takes 17 minutes to fill charge. That means my SOC is, let us take for example, 83%. Okay, still 13% I need to charge. Depth of discharge means the percentage of battery capacity that has been discharged from the battery. Why? Because these two parameters are very important for the electric vehicles. When you are charging the battery, your SOC should not be exceed by the 80%. Some depends upon the manufacturing and type of the battery. It should not be beyond the 80 to 85%. If you charge more than 85%, then some portion of the battery is going to be shaded out. That is the term, again, state of health of battery. If you discharge regularly to the 100% of charge, then your state of health is very low. It is going to be reduced. That means, suppose your battery, you are buying the battery from some company. That company says that this battery life is 1000 cycle, and there is a terms and conditions are there. It should be charged and discharged in between 20 to 80% only. If you charge more than the 80%, your battery life is reduced. That means it is definitely less than the 1000 cycles. And also depth of discharge also similar to that thing, but it should not be less than the 20%. See here I mentioned the at least 80% of DOD means depth of discharge means at least you need to maintain 20% of SOC. These two are vice versa, inversely proportional. 80% of DOD means at least you need to maintain 20% of SOC. Why? Because this, see, just now we discussed about the internal resistance. Now, this internal resistance always changing with respect to the C rate. That means at what current you are going to charge, at what current you are going to discharge. Okay. See, if you even though if the C rate is high, the internal resistance is high. Even though if your SOC is high, your internal resistance is high. That's why you need to maintain the SOC within the limits. That is, for a battery, you need to maintain the SOC from 20 to 30%. Then your battery life will be more. And one more parameter I need to convey here, it is specific energy and specific power. Why I am concentrating this thing here, it is right now there is a big research is going on the again these two parameters. Why? Because see, just now we discussed about the battery pack. That means we are having one battery pack. It is used to drive the electric vehicle. It is connected to the motor. Now, just take a small example. Let us, we are traveling in car. Okay. Initially, we are there, 4 people are there in our car. Initially, lot of force is required to run the vehicle. Initially, lot of force, that means lot of torque is required to run the motor. When torque at the time, it takes lot of current from the battery. That means initially the C rate is more. Your battery is going to be discharged at high current. When it is going to be discharged at high current, then again the battery life is going to be reduced. That's why here this specific power concept came here. It is specific power concept means what is the maximum power we can take from the one unit. That means for 1 kg of battery, how much maximum power you can take it? Previously, just now we discussed about this is the battery pack. Now, this battery pack is at present research what is going on here it is, this battery pack is divided into the 2 parts. One part is especially designed to give the maximum energy density. The other part is especially is designed to give the maximum power density. See, here it is the only one battery pack is there. Now, to improve the lifetime of the battery, what the people are doing there, here it is. The battery is designed with the 2 separate packs with the 2 different specifications. One is giving more specific energy, other one is giving more specific power. More specific energy means, see, within a small space, it can store the lot of energy. Within a small space, it stores the more energy. That is the specific energy. Specific power means from that small space, it gives the more energy to the motor. Storing is different, gives is different, supply is different. See, always one single battery cannot having these 2 parameters. Maybe high specific energy means it is the low specific power. High specific power means low specific energy. One single battery cannot give this 2 at a time. At some point it gives the specific energy, high specific energy. Other time it may give the high specific power. That's why to improve the lifetime of the battery, what the people are presently they are doing, that single battery pack is made with the 2 parts. One part is high specific energy, other part is high specific power. That is, first one is just it is concentrating on the to store the lot of energy. The second point is to give the lot of power to the motor. That means the second part is especially used to at the time of starting or when you are moving to the uphill. At that time, the second part is used. Remaining all times, the first part is used. I hope you understood my concept here. It is. Okay, then next thing is why this BMS is required. Now, just now we discussed about the BMS battery parameters. Among these things here it is as compared to the total cost of electric vehicle, the cost of the battery is 40 to 60%. Then it is our objective to improve the battery life and also to protect our battery. The first and foremost thing is safety. Why? Because this is the not only safety for the battery, it is safety for the passenger also. If anything is happened in the battery, that is because of the thermal runaway or because of some short circuit, if any malfunction is happened in the battery, then definitely there is a danger to the passenger also. That's why the first and foremost thing of the BMS is the safety. Then coming after that, the lifetime. Then next one is the measurement and prediction. I will convey all these things by taking one example here. It is. See, you are using your laptop. You are doing some work on there. First thing what we are going to observe there. See, is there any grounding or there to the charger? We need to ensure that for our charging connection, is the grounding is there or not? That is the safety one. Second thing is here it is, just now we discussed about this thing. We need to charge and discharge the battery from 20 to 80% of the SOC only. Please don't charge to 100%, don't discharge to the 0%. With that, we can improve the life. Then coming to the measurement and prediction is, measurement means, see, I don't know if I am not seeing this icon. See here, it is battery charger is there now. If you place the cursor there, it shows to you few more minutes to full charge. That means that is the measurement. That type of information I require. Okay. Then once this is the, if I know that 2 more minutes or 98% or 90% of charging is there, means then immediately I will disconnect here. This information is required. Same as your internal combustion engine vehicle. When you are traveling in our car, first we are going to check this how much fuel we are having. That means how much petrol we are having in our car, how much distance we can travel. Okay, these are the very important in internal combustion vehicles. Then coming to the electric vehicles, there are some other parameters are there. That just now we discussed about that thing. That is the SOC, state of health. Okay, from that SOC, again it is going to calculate how much distance we can travel. Okay, that are the new parameters. It is calculated by the BMS, and it is going to display to the driver. The main first and foremost thing of the BMS is the safety. Why? Because it needs to be limits the electrically and thermally. It needs to be controlled both electrically and thermally. Electrically means with respect to the charging voltage and current, and is there any faults in the battery pack. Thermally means if you are going to be charged with a high C rate, then definitely there is a high temperature is there, going to be temperature is rising. Then with that thing, the thermal runaway is going to be happen. Then life cycle also, just now we discussed about this. We need to improve the life cycle of the battery. Otherwise, the electric vehicle also inefficient one. Then see here, there are few points are added here. It is, we need to monitor and detect the cell overcharge and cut off charge. Why? Because in our battery pack is having some modules. In that some modules, again there are few cells are there. Each cell having some different characteristics. If one cell is charging at the high C rate, that means one cell is charging with fast, then that cell voltage is greater as compared to the other cell. Then because of the voltage difference between two parallelly connected cells, there is a circulating current. That current causes overheating in that thing, in that battery pack. We need to monitor that cell voltage. If is there any cell voltage difference is there, we need to detect that. That means in that string, in that series connection, if any cell is having high voltage, then cut off the current, turn off the relay to that particular cell. Then second thing is monitor and detect the over discharge. Similarly, over discharge also we need to monitor and detect it. Cell balancing for the string charging. We will discuss about this cell balancing and temperature monitoring. Then remaining state of SOC also very important here. Why? Because see, there are still in India, this charging station infrastructure is not developed as compared to some other developed countries. Only few charging stations are there, like Tata Power, Ather Energy, Charge Grid, Photon, and Recharge India, like that. And also, this charging stations are having the cost per unit is very high. See, if you take the Tata Power, actually this Tata Power, there is some mobile app is there. With that one, we can book the charging slot to the, nearer to the your location. There are nearly 200 plus charging stations are there in India. Okay, there we can book the slot. But the thing here it is, the cost per unit is 27 rupees per hour, kilowatt hour. That means 27 rupees per unit. I hope I don't know what the cost per unit in your state. In Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, for residential purpose, the cost per unit is, if it is less than 50 units, it is only 1.45 rupees. If for the charging stations, recently they framed for they framed cost per unit. That is 6 rupees for cost per unit is daytime. 10 rupees in daytime, 6 rupees in night time. The given time of unit price rate. Okay, but coming to the charging stations, they are going to be charged at this rate, 27 rupees per unit. That's why we need to operate the battery at the safe condition. See, if you charge with the 27 rupees per unit means, I hope it is again similar to your electric, diesel and petrol vehicle. Okay. Again, we will come to this our point. Remaining, we need to calculate the remaining state of charge. Why? Because, see, if you use the internal combustion engine vehicle, it shows that how much fuel you are having. There is some analog meter is there. It shows that how much fuel we are having. Based upon that thing, we can refill it. Similarly, if we don't have the state of charge determination and it is not going to display in our vehicle, we cannot reach our destination. Okay, that's why here it is. The BMS, what it is doing, it calculates the state of charge. Once it is calculated, based upon this state of charge, we need to charge and discharge. If the state of charge is nearer to the 20, then we will go for the charging. If state of charge is more than 80, then we will try to disconnect the charging. Okay, this state of charge, from the not only the state of charge here it is, again there are few things it is going to give. The state of health of battery also. State of health is also very important. Why? Because the new battery can store the energy is different than the olden battery. It is same as your some China mobiles. Initially, it is going to be the operating hours is nearly 1 day to 1.5 day. After few days or few months, then it is in few hours only. After few months or few years, it is only few minutes only. That is the state of health. But that type of situation is not there in electric lithium-ion batteries. But always we need to try to consider the state of health also. Why? Because if state of health is good, SOC is good, then it is very high. If state of SOC is good, if SOH is less, then again it is the drawback. Even though you are having 80%, your state of health is very low, you cannot travel for long distances. It gives this all the information, and also it measures the temperature inside the battery pack and outside the battery pack, and it is going to display in your vehicle. And also it gives the information about this battery terminal voltage, and this everything is displayed on your electric vehicle. These are the sensing parameters like voltage, current, and also here we need to remember that your BMS is going to measure the individual cells. It is very important for the protection of your battery pack. It is measured by using ICs, integrated circuit. Similarly, this voltage and currents, they are measuring here. Temperature also they are measuring. Usually this temperature we need to maintain within the limits. Otherwise, it is very dangerous to the battery. How it is there, we will see in later. It is there some figure. Then isolation sensing also. Here it is, if anything is happened in the battery, that means if the temperature is exceeded than the preset value, then definitely it is going to be isolate that battery from the motor. And not only isolate, immediately they need to activate the cooling section also. See, for example, in your electric vehicle, you are traveling from Chandigarh to the Rajasthan. Rajasthan, the temperature is 48 degrees centigrade. In Chandigarh, it is very low. That means sometimes it is 10 also. These two temperatures, 48 and 45 and this 10 degrees, both are not good for your battery. Then you require some sensors to measure the temperature outside of the electric vehicle also. Okay, we need to measure the outside temperature of the electric vehicle and temperature of the inside of the battery pack. Then immediately we need to act such that to maintain the temperature within the battery and outside of the battery is in between these 15 to 35 degrees centigrades. If it is less than 15 also it is inefficient, more than 35 also inefficient. What is going on, we will see in next slide. This is the battery pack protection. It is only for one cell we are showing here it is. This is the one cell. For every cell the protection is like this. With this connection, we are going to protect each cell from the over voltage and from the over current, short circuit and temperature also. If anything is happening in that cell, definitely there is some isolation circuit also. This is the isolation one. Okay. Like this, every cell is having its own protection. Then all are combined. The cells are connected in series and parallel such that to make the battery pack. For every series connection, there is again protection like this. For every parallel connection is like this. Okay. This entire thing, from each cell we are going to measure the current. From each cell we are going to measure the current. We are going to measure the temperature. And these values are there. So from each cell we are going to measure. Suppose for example, if you take the Tesla Model S car, in that car, the battery capacity is 85 kilowatt hours. The battery capacity is 85 kilowatt hours. In that 85 kilowatt hours battery, there is a 7,104 battery cells are there. In 85 kilowatt hour battery, there is a 7,104 battery cells are there. From that, all that cells, we need to measure the voltage, we need to measure the current, and we need to measure the temperature inside of the battery at different places that are very close to each other. Then think about the measurements. How many measurements are there? How we can handle that many measurements? For that one, again, there is a concept is there, BMS communication. See, all these things are connected. All these cells are connected. From that all cells, we are going to get the data of voltage, current, and temperature, and that isolation connected is active or not, or that relay positions are what position they are having. We need to communicate this. For this communication, there are two different ways here it is. One is master communication, other one is slave communication. Okay, see here it is. See, this is the simple communication structure. This is the bus termination. This is the bus termination. That means this is the one bus. There are different types of the bus. Here it is there. CAN bus, that means control area network bus. SPI bus, that is a peripheral interface bus, RS485 for example. Then 12C bus. This is the communication types. Here it is. Among these three, this CAN bus, that is control area network, is most robust and is and also it is less expensive. Okay, now see, this is going to use, here it is, this performs. Now how they are connected, this CAN bus and this thing, BMS topologies. There are three types of BMS topologies: distributed topology, modular topology, and centralized topology. See, these are the figures of this thing. That means here, this is the distributed topology. In distributed topology, each cell is having its own BMS. Each cell is having its like a slave controller. Each cell having one slave controller. This all slave controllers are gives the information to the master controller. That means this cell having one slave controller, it measures the voltage, current, and its temperature values, and it gives the information to the master controller through CAN bus. Similarly, this is the centralized one. In centralized one, only one master controller is there. It gets the information from all the cells. In modular topology, the entire battery pack is divided into the two sections. That means each section is having one slave controller. That means two sections having two slave controllers. From these two slave controllers gives the information to the master controller. Everywhere, see here it is. If something has happened to this cell, automatically it gives the information to the master controller, the slave controller, or some actions done by the slave itself. If it is not done, then it gives the information to the master controller. Automatically, this cell protection is going to be happen. Just now we seen that circuit. This is the BMS topology success. Everywhere, in distributed and modular, there is a slave. In centralized, only one master controller is there. So can I stop? We will discuss few things here. It is problems with the battery pack. It is actually, we need to know about these problems. The main problem here, it is the imbalance in the battery voltage. That means, let us take, this is your battery pack. This all cells are connected in series. This all cells are connected in series. Again, these two series, this is the one string, this is the one string. These two strings are connected in parallel. See, here it is. This block 1 and L1. This all are series. This all are in series. Again, these two are in parallel. This all are in series. This all are in series. Again, these two are in parallel. Now, we are going to charge this battery. Let us, we are giving the supply plus and minus, here it is. Now, see, here it is. This battery cell is very near to the supply. This battery cell is very near to the supply. Thereby, this battery cell is higher as compared to this battery cell. Why? Because this battery cell is far away from this supply. This last battery is having less voltage. These first batteries are having high voltage. Then think about this series connection. There is an imbalance in the cell voltages. We need to identify that cell voltage imbalance. That means which one is going to be charged at the faster rate and which one is going to be charged at the lower rate. High voltage means it is going to be charged at the high C rate. it not because of the supply. Maybe because of these connections, a small voltage difference is there. But because of the internal resistance of the each cell, there is a lot of voltage difference is there. Then it is very dangerous to the electric battery. Why? Because that imbalance in the voltage causes more circulating current. Then the temperature at different places of the battery pack is temperature different at different places is very high. Then definitely there is a thermal runaway going to be happen. We need to identify that thing. Then immediately we need to do the cell balancing. Immediately we need to do the cell balancing. See, this is the cell balancing. That means initially this is we are charged at this point. Let us take, this is the 3 cells. Initially we are charged at this, all are at the same SOC. Now we are going to use this battery for some applications. After discharging, see, this is going to be like this. After discharging, this is going to be like this. Then see, think about this one. This cell is having low SOC. That means it is having low voltage. This is having low voltage as compared to this cell. Then your BMS cannot support you to discharge the battery, even though this third cell having more SOC and the second cell having somewhat 50% SOC. This third cell is having 70 to 80% SOC, but this first cell is having 20%, 25 SOC. Then automatically your BMS gives the signals such that your battery is not going to be discharged. If you discharge, the lifetime of the battery is going to be decreases. It is, see, because of this thing, we are not going to utilizing the battery more effectively. If you take the more energy from there, that is, see, this cell is only discharged 30%. This cell is discharged only 50%. That means these 2 cells we are not utilizing properly. This third cell is 70% is inefficient. 70% of energy we are not using. Here 50% of energy we are not using. That means we are inefficient using this thing. That's why what we need to do here it is, we need to do the cell balancing. That means we need to equalize the energy in the all cells, or we need to equalize the charge in the all cells. Again, we need to discharge it. Once we discharge like this, all the cells are discharged up to 20% SOC. Then your BMS gives the signal, your SOC is 20%, please stop to discharge it. If you continue it, then the lifetime of the battery is going to be decreased. Same thing here, it is the in charging condition also. Same thing here, if you charge in when you are charging, few cells are reaches the 80%, but this first cell is only at the 50% is there. At this condition, if you are going to use the battery, again same problem is there what we discussed in previously. That's why we need to do the cell balancing. This is very important in battery management system. If we are not doing the cell balancing, then we are not going to utilize the properly. Why? Because the battery is 40 to 50%. That means if you suppose, for example, your electric vehicle is 10 lakhs, your battery cost is 50 lakhs. In that 50 lakhs, we are not going to utilize properly. Suppose, for example, if you take here it is, here 70% of energy is there, SOC is there. Here also 50% of SOC is there. That means if we do like this, among that 5 lakhs, we are going to utilize only 30 lakhs only. Remaining, 3 lakhs only. Among that, the battery cost is 5 lakhs. Now, in that 5 lakhs, we are going to use only 3 lakhs. Remaining 2 lakhs investment is wasted. If we do like this. So for the better utilization of the that electrical battery, we need to do the cell balancing. This cell balancing is compulsory in both cases. When you are charging, we need to do the cell balancing and see that it is going to be charged at 80 to 85% of SOC. And discharging condition also, we need to see that all cells are having the same voltage. See why we here, because of I am telling the voltage is proportional to the SOC. If all cells are having the same SOC means the voltage is same. Okay, that's why here it is. We need to take care about both charging and discharging conditions. Now, one more important point I need to conclude here. This is about the temperature here. Previous slide where I told you, the battery pack should be operated in between 15 degrees to 35 degrees. This is the optimum operating temperature. If you go beyond 15%, then it dictates the power capability. That means your battery is going to be charged at lower rate, or your battery is going to be discharged at the lower rate. If the temperature is more than 35 degrees centigrade, again, there is a C rate problem is there. Okay, that is the power and energy fade rates determine the original battery size. See, to get the required power from the battery, it should be operated in between 15 degrees centigrade to the 35 degrees centigrade. Otherwise, it will affect your battery lifetime. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I stop?
Yes, sir. Now audio. Yes, sir. Yes.
Can I stop here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because the next guest is waiting for the session.
Yeah, that's right. Now I am also having meeting.
Any doubt with?
Yeah, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Is there any doubt till now, dear participants? Is there any doubt you can ask with sir? Hello. If you have any doubt, you can message with chat box itself. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session about battery management system, and your knowledge may use for the young research community regarding the electric vehicle battery management system. Thank you so much for your valuable lessons and valuable time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me.
Thank you. Madam, please kindly, dear participants, kindly fill the feedback for the session 1. Kindly fill the feedback for the session 1.
Sir, can I leave?
Sorry.
Please, sir.
Why we should not charge for, yes, why we should not charge for 100% is the query from the audience side. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. there is the query from the audience
Sir.
side, why we should not charge for 100%.
Yeah. See, here it is. The thing here it is. Just now we shown equal balancing voltage. See here, this each cell is different from the other one. Any two cells are not identical. Definitely, the internal resistance of that cell is different as compared to the other cell. When cell resistance is different, that C rate and the charging time is different. If you are going to be charged to the 100% of all cells, that means one cell is going to be charged at the fast, other cell is going to be charged slowly. One cell is going to be charged at faster rate, other cell is going to be charged at the slower rate. Then the cell which is going to be charged at the 100% SOC, then other cell is going to be charged at the 80% SOC. Then we need to stop somewhere now. Why? Because already that reaches 100% SOC. You cannot charge for the more that one. There the BMS comes into the action. It equalizes the voltage here it is. And one more thing here it is, your internal resistance also proportional to the SOC. If SOC is greater than 80%, the internal resistance of the each cell is going to be increased. At that time, the temperature rising inside of the battery is also increasing. Then I square R losses is increasing. The heat in the temperature is proportional to that one. Here I am going to conclude this thing here. The temperature, the internal resistance of the battery is proportional to the SOC. And the internal resistance is temperature is directly depends upon the I square into R. Hello, sir.
There is another query, which is which topology is efficient? Which topology is efficient?
There actually this distributed topology is more efficient, but because of this more space and more number of connections and more number of slave circuits, they are not using. It is somewhat expensive. That's why nowadays this modular topology is more popularly using. Efficient one is the distributed topology, but there some communication job is there. Efficient one is the one only, this distributed topology only.
Is there any query? Prince, are you asking any question? Prince? Why the cost of battery is increasing today? So
No,
there is the other
today the cost of the battery is going to be reducing only, not increasing.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Not decreasing. At present, the cost for one watt hour cost is $3,000. Lithium-ion battery. Hello, sir, I am audible?
You are audible. You are audible.
Yes, sir. At present, the cost is $3,000 for watt hour. $3,000 per watt hour. Lithium-ion batteries. Previously, it is somewhat higher one. The battery cost is decreasing, but not that much level. Here, the important thing is about the materials only. This cost of batteries completely depends upon the material, which type of material we are going to use there. Maybe this question may be with respect to that different types of, suppose for example, same rating, for same rating, lead acid battery cost is low. the lithium-ion battery cost is very high. Why? Because of that compact size, that is more energy density. But you need to think about the only one particular type of battery. That means, suppose if you take the lithium-ion batteries, in previous how it is there, now how it is there. In olden days, before 1990s, the energy density is only 100 watt-hour per kg for lithium-ion battery. Now it is almost 250 watt-hour per kg. The energy density is increasing. That means they are making it more compact way. But still it is cost is decreases as compared to the previous one.
Sir,
Sir.
actually, batteries, when you are saying that it is in the high vehicle, electric vehicles, battery is usually on the floor, right? They're spread
sir.
across.
Yes,
So
sir,
we
yes,
are
sir.
using all these things. We are balancing the charging or discharging, or basically a cell balancing. We are doing it.
Yes,
But
sir.
how you optimize the temperature?
Yeah, here there are many temperature sensors in battery pack, and outside of the battery also. Outside of the vehicle also we are having. Then
Okay.
this all temperature sensors give the information to the BMS. Then BMS sees that from which location where the temperature is there, and it compares the temperature difference inside of the battery from different locations. If the temperature difference inside of the from each point, from each cell is greater than the 5 degrees centigrade, then automatically your BMS going to switch off the connection and immediately it provide the cooling to the battery. If you are not following, I will convey in other way, sir.
No, I got it,
are-
sir, but my idea is because the temperature when you are saying it, it is not same, right? On the floor, when I'm saying it, at particular place, it may be very high, or it may be particular place, it may be less.
Yes,
Because
sir.
of the temperature gradient, there is a possibility that the temperature flow or this will happen. So now my question is, how you balance, that is how you using a cooling, is it a forced cooling or liquid cooling? What is the technique you are using so that the temperature is extracted and try to optimize the temperature from the whole
Yes, sir.
battery pack?
Yes, sir. Actually, we need to provide the forced cooling there, sir. As compared to this air cooling, the liquid cooling is efficient one, but inside of that battery area is very important. If you provide the cooling, liquid cooling there, then the more area required. That's why here we are providing the forced air cooling. It provides the uniform temperature at all places inside of the pack.
Okay.